Well, in the last few minutes, we've had a tweet through from President Zelenskyy, who's had a conversation with our Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. In that tweet, he says that he has spoken with the British Prime Minister, grateful for the support. We see the same need for a truly sustainable peace for Ukraine and the danger of the Russian plan to reduce everything to discussing the impossible. Clear steps are needed, maximum coordination with our partners. We appreciate the determination of Britain, the United States, all partners to end the war. We are actively working for constructive diplomacy and for solutions to work. We have agreed on following contacts. Well, we can also bring in Amanda Acas, our political correspondent, who is live for us in Westminster. And Amanda, we've also had a readout from Downing Street of that phone call between Sir Keir Starmer and President Zelenskyy.
Yes, indeed. So Sir Keir Starmer confirms that the two of them have spoken this morning. And what's particularly interesting is that they talked about a meeting that is due to happen later on today at Chevening, hosted jointly by the Foreign Secretary David Lammy, along with the US Vice President JD Vance, who is staying with him over the weekend. Now, they had a bilateral meeting yesterday, and they had this press conference afterwards. It wasn't clear then that there was going to be any further work really going on between the two men over the weekend. We had understood that it was going to be more of a personal visit at the start of JD Vance's holiday, but we now understand that later on today they are hosting this meeting of national security advisors from Europe, Ukraine and the United States today. We're told by the Prime Minister that during his phone call with President Zelenskyy, they agreed that this would be a vital forum to discuss progress towards securing a just and lasting peace. Both leaders welcomed President Trump's desire to bring this barbaric war to an end and agreed that we must keep up the pressure on Putin to end his illegal war. The Prime Minister ended his call by reiterating his unwavering support for Ukraine and its people. So that meeting, Jonathan Powell is the UK National Security Advisor. We understand that he, alongside counterparts from clearly the US, other European countries and Ukraine, will be discussing the next steps alongside Trump's push for peace in Ukraine and those meetings and how the allies can support just and lasting peace, as they put it. Now, of course, we know that European and other Western allies have their coalition of the willing plan, saying that they would be prepared to support the implementation of some kind of peace in Ukraine if a deal ends up being struck with the Russians to end the conflict. So presumably that is something that they will be talking about, what they can be done there. But clearly this is quite significant because it's a moment where we will see the US and the Ukrainians speaking alongside other European allies at a point at which, of course, Ukrainians have been left out of these high-level talks between President Trump and President Putin planned for Friday.
OK, Amanda, for the moment, thank you very much indeed, following that phone call between President Zelenskyy and our Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer.